Hey guys, I'm Dalton from Zebco, and now I'm going to show you how to assemble and use your custom Z-spinning combo kit. After removing your rod and reel combo from the package, your first step is to assemble the reel. To do that, you're going to unscrew the reel seat and then put the reel in the reel seat and lock the reel seat back down. Once you have your reel on, the next step is to assemble your rod. To start off, you're going to pull your telescoping piece all the way out, nice and secure, and then you're going to put your two-piece on. While you're doing this, make sure that you have your guides nice and straight so that your line will be able to come through evenly. The next step you're going to do, you're going to flip your belt and you're going to pull your line through the guides. Now that you've lined your rod, we're going to go through the tackle kits you got and show you how to rig everything. First, we're going to show you how to rig the squadron head with the Rage Swimmer. You're going to take your squadron head in one hand, your line in your other. You're going to put your line through the eye. Once you have your line through the eye of your hook, you're going to make a loop and then you're going to wrap it 5 times. Then you're going to keep your loop out, pull back through the loop and go right back through it. You're going to wet your knot and pull it down tight. You're going to cut your tag in relatively close, and now you're ready to rig your Rage Swimmer. To rig your Rage Swimmer, I always start with a squadron head in my hand and then the head of the Rage Swimmer in my other hand, and we're just going to rig it as straight as possible. The key part to getting this bait to swim correct is rigging it straight. One thing to assure that it's straight is to look through the slit in the back of the Rage Swimmer and make sure your hook's coming out evenly in the slit. Now that we're all rigged up, we got our Strike King squadron head on with our Rage Swimmer on it. We're going to go through some steps of how to cast and retrieve this bait. You'll be able to use this casting technique for all the baits included in your kit. One important feature we want to mention on the reel before we get started is your anti-reverse switch. We want to make sure that we have this switch on so that your reel doesn't reel backwards. Our next step, we're going to take our index finger and put it on our line. We're going to flip our bail, and now we're ready to cast. We're going to bring it straight back over our shoulder and release our line when we start coming forward. It's going to look just like that, and then when your bait hits the water, we're going to close our belt, and then we're going to start a steady retrieve. You can mix up your retrieve with this Rage Swimmer. The slower you reel it, the deeper it's going to go. You can keep your rod tip up and reel it at a higher speed to keep the bait higher in the water column, or you can lower your rod tip, reel it slower to keep it deeper in the water column. Next, we're going to show you how to Texas rig the Strike King shimmy stick. To do that, you're going to grab your EWG hook and your line, and we're going to tie another clinch knot. We're going to go right through the eye of the hook, pull your tag in through, make a loop. We're going to wrap it 5 times, come right back through your loop, and then come right back through it again. We're going to wet the knot, we're going to pull it down till it's snug, and we're going to cut our tag in. Next, we're going to take our Strike King shimmy stick, and this is what's called a Texas rig. You're going to take your EWG hook from the eye, and you're going to take your Strike King shimmy stick from the top. You're going to insert about 1/8 of an inch. You're going to slide your shimmy stick all the way to the top, and then this is what it's called Texas rigging. We're going to go all the way through the worm, and we're going to just tuck it right back inside the worm just to keep it weedless. And that's your Strike King shimmy stick Texas rig. Now we have our Strike King shimmy stick Texas rig, and we're going to show you how to retrieve it. You're going to use your same exact casting technique that we mentioned before, and we're going to repeat the process. One important feature we want to mention on the reel before we get started is your anti-reverse switch. We want to make sure that we have this switch on so that your reel doesn't reel backwards. We're going to cast it out, let it sink all the way to the bottom, and then you really don't have to do much to make this bait work. It does a lot of it for you. Once it sinks all the way to the bottom, you're going to reel up your slack and just give some nice little pulls, nothing crazy. This is a proven technique and an absolute fish catcher. Next, we're going to show you how to wacky rig the Strike King shimmy stick. And to start off, we're going to grab our wacky worm hook. We're going to take our tag in line and we're going to run it through the eye of the hook. We're still going to tie the clinch knot. We're going to make a loop. We're going to wrap it 5 times. We're going to come right back through your loop. You're going to double it again, come right back through the other side of the loop. We're going to pull it down, wet it, and let it pull tight to the hook. From there, we're going to trim our tag in. Then we're going to take our Strike King shimmy stick, and we're going to hook this thing in what we would call the egg sac of the bait, which is basically the dead middle. We're just going to hook it straight through the middle of the bait, pull your hook all the way through it, and it's going to look like this. This is your Strike King shimmy stick, wacky rigged. Now we have the Strike King shimmy stick wacky rig, and we're going to go over the technique to how to fish it, and we're going to use the exact same casting techniques that we've shown before. One important feature we want to mention on the reel before we get started is your anti-reverse switch. We want to make sure that we have this switch on so that your reel doesn't reel backwards. We're going to cast the same way, and once the bait hits the water, you want this to fall on slack line so that it gets all the way to the bottom. It will take a little bit to sink, but this is an absolute fish catcher. Once you're retrieving this bait, you're not wanting to do anything crazy. You're just going to basically reel up your slack and feel if one's there. You would just repeat this process all the way back to you. For more information on this combo and other Zebco products, visit zebco.com/academy.